Whew. And for the last time today, I get to do a little bit of an introduction. We have two teams, 6 players. One team takes it all. One team gonna have to end their run here. We've got Lealow's Minions versus TOS. How many times, chat, have I said these two names today? Because I think I've lost count with how well these two teams have played all day long. It is no surprise that we are seeing them here. It is Champions Field, baby. Lealow's Minions starting a game up after having coming in from the upper bracket. They've got a little bit of a 1-game advantage. I've also been told to say shout out to Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for joining in and supporting. Lots of family members as well supporting this stream today, and always love to see the participation from everyone. That being said, it's Lealow's Minions. Although up by 1 game, they're not starting up by 1 here in game number 1. In fact, it's TOS all the way around. We're settling in for the long ride here, chat. Every single goal, although insignificant, plays a huge difference in keeping that mental up. And you know, it's been a long day. All 6 of these players are definitely feeling the burn, at least a little bit. Every goal that they get is just a little bit of fuel to the fire to keep that momentum alive, keep themselves invigorated and ready to play. TOS with their first goal. And especially after the last time we saw TOS on stream versus Lealow's Minions, it was a 3-1 in favor of Lealow's Minions. So kudos to TOS for knocking a game off of the undisputed titans of AltRLE. But can they do it not just once, but 4 more times? It's going to be a very daunting challenge, but that first goal means everything. Starting the momentum a little bit, it's once again DC's. He's looking for a little bit of possession, but entry from the headbands pokes a hole into the backboard, buying Lealow's Minions a little bit of space to work with as they look to crack open their eggshell. Now it's Chomps. Lots of performance out of him. He's a player who I came in actually not knowing whatsoever, and he's caught me pleasantly surprised. Especially after having worked into his teammates. I think it was a little bit of a last-second substitution as well. And so to have worked into the team in such a short amount of time is quite an impressive feat. And after all we've seen here today, it would be quite a shame to see either of these two teams go out, especially after all the work they've put in. However, one team must go, and with how much I love these two teams, it's definitely hard to pick a winner. Lealow's Minions, they've been wanting to make a strong case though after having come in from the upper bracket. Throughout all of today, they have dropped 2 games. That is it. They have not dropped a single series. They have only dropped 2 games across all of their series. Now the TOS, holding on to this 1-goal lead for dear life as we approach halftime in regulation. Xenon buys himself a lot of space in the midfield, has to rush this 50, and in doing so uses pretty much all of his boost. He's running on fumes as he takes a retreat towards the back post. Not on target. Oh no, it's been denied by DC's. A little bit accidental by TOS, but they're keeping themselves alive here, keeping this offensive streak going. It's Oki from the skies. Looks like he ran out of boost partially through that play. He's gonna have to let it go. Entry, shot on target. Denied by Xenon. So back and forth here across the pitch, as both of these teams looking to hammer open the net in any way possible. And getting some of these shot opportunities on target is a good way of doing so, trying to deprive your other team of those precious resources. Those 2 corner boosts are pretty... oh my goodness, this one's getting a little dicey on that goal line. DC's going to be credited for his 2nd goal, but I think we all knew this 2nd goal was gonna happen sooner rather than later. As soon as we saw Entry doing his best, but unfortunately caught flopping around on the goal line. Lealow's Minions down by 2 here, and this is unfamiliar territory. Like I said before, they've only dropped 2 games thus far, and now TOS is looking to add a 3rd, as Oki nearly able to punch a hole through not just 1 but 2 players on the goal line. It's Lealow, and a lot to be said about this player in particular. Throughout one particular series I casted, he had put up not just 1, he put up 2 hat-tricks within the same series, and I think I've started to expect that performance from him a little bit. A lot of pressure on Lealow's shoulders, especially since this entire team is named after him. Entry underneath his command chops as well. They are both his minions in this journey, but for right now, this journey isn't going too hot as TOS, making that 1-goal advantage for Lealow's minions look like a piece of cake as they equalize with just a few seconds left to go in game number 1. Seconds on the clock. Will Lealow's minions even be able to find one? Chops! He's looking to do so. And now it's Entry in the Vitality decal flip reset into the top bin. DC's present on the backboard to keep that one out, but that's not going to stop Lealow from coming in to clean up the mess. Sweeping it into the bottom left corner. Not a speck of dust left on the pitch that Lealow's minions have not dealt with. And TOS, even though up by 1, you can't help but feel that they're getting a little bit nervous, especially with Entry starting to bear down with all of his might, and with a player like Entry, you never quite know what he'll be able to whip out at the flick of his wrist. There's Entry for a second. And a great setup by Chops as well, finding the initial touch in order to make this second goal from Lealow's minions come to life in the buzzer beater. And Lealow's minions forces the overtime. TOS, after having held the 2-goal lead for the majority of game number 1, it's all gone south. Lealow's minions built up a considerable amount of momentum to their name. Lealow and Entry working together to bring this ball out of the half-field line. They finally do so successfully, but definitely took a considerable amount of resources. Chops as well getting involved. Trying to big open the wall that is TOS, but it's Oki all the way back around. And after having seen so much out of Okeanos all of today, how are we any less surprised that he's shown up here on Champions Field? Back in the group stage, Oki was responsible for not just some, but the majority of the goals that TOS had scored. And it feels like that was such a long time ago, but it was only a few short hours ago, and to see how TOS have evolved since then is very impressive. The cohesion has definitely built up over the course of the day, but no less for Lealow's minions. And now it's Lealow, Chops, and Entry. These 3 players are on the back foot as another shot on target by TOS is Oki. He comes back to take what's his. And TOS, after having led for 2-0 for the majority of game number 1, a little bit in a slip-up results in an overtime, but they're able to wrap it up, put the ribbon on the stick. There's a first game for TOS. And keep in mind, Lealow's minions had come into this with an advantage with a 1 game to their name, and now that advantage has quickly disappeared. We're going to go ahead and get right back into it for game number 2. Both of these teams so hungry to get this game going, and can't even blame them for having come this far to know that you were inches close to getting your hands on that prize pool. It's a good source of motivation. TOS now off the kickoff, looking to find themselves in instant possession, but instead it's Lealow. Comes off with the first possession play, but unfortunately has to let go rather quickly. Lealow's minions throwing themselves at the ball, but not having done them too many favors, as 50 after 50 being taken in the midfield to no avail. Every 50 seems to be going neutral until eventually TOS seem to find an opening, and DC's breaks for a first. Lealow's minions not used to being in the back foot like we've mentioned, however, they did find the comeback back in game number 1. What the heck, Monk? Sorry about that. TOS holding on to this 1-goal lead for dear life. Lealow's minions, will they be able to get this 1-goal comeback? They've been struggling a little bit here, but at the tail end of game number 1, they were able to find the connection. They'll be able to do so again. precious time ticking down on the clock for Lealow's minions to do so. Xenon, from the midfield without much boost, he has to resort to trying to connect on a pre-flip. Very aggressive move, but one that doesn't reward TOS for the time being. Now it's Lealow, as he rotates back around, buying his teammates a little bit of space. Entry, rotating in. He's got two teammates in the midfield to work with, opts to go solo. Uses the Wizard Flick to his advantage. Lealow just starting to poke a hole into the defense, opting not to pre-jump, look for the challenge this time around. Actually allows for Entry to rotate in, as he's looking poised for a double tap angle of his own. But no, he can't find the connection as well. Lealow's minions, for the first time in the tournament, actually struggling a little bit. Alright chat, don't mind me for a little bit. Feel free to enjoy the game for just a second. I do have a rather important text I do need to attend to. So enjoy the game. I'm going to be not talking for a second. Alright, with that dealt with, let's see what we got here in our hands. Looks like TOS just beginning to run away with it here in game number 2 now. It feels weird saying game number 2 because the overlay makes it seem as if it's game number 3, but always have to keep in mind to subtract 1, accounting for that game advantage. Now it's TOS. I'm being absolutely bombarded with text. This is rather unfortunate timing for the grand finals. But that's what it is. That is what it is. In the meantime, looks like not much has changed on the TOS scoreline. Holding up by 2-0 thus far. Lealow's minions still struggling. Entry has been struggling to find his mark in game number 2. Now it's Chops. Over to Entry as Entry takes off from the side wall. Uses a lot of boost to get this ball towards the goal line. TOS happy to deny. This is going to be 2 straight games for TOS here. But also, gotta keep in mind exactly what happened back in game number 1. TOS, they had the 2-goal lead for what felt like the majority. Then all of a sudden, Lealow's minions scored 2 in quick succession. Will they be able to work out the same wizardry once again? Only a couple seconds left for them to do so, and this was around the time in game number 1 that they pulled off a very quick goal and then a kickoff goal in succession. Few seconds. Lealow, backboard in his possession. Chops, oh no, it's slightly off target. Entry. It's gonna have to rotate back around, look for a wayward challenge. But no, he can't find the challenge he was looking for. He needed a strong dunk to keep the play going. Double tap, no, it's not gone in. TOS, they are a brick wall. Lealow's minions are throwing everything they can, but they simply cannot find the mark. Double tap after double tap opportunity, and all of it for naught, as TOS nearly able to find a third. They can't find it then. Now this is 2 straight games for TOS. The last time that we saw these 2 teams on stream, TOS only got 1. Will it be the other way around? Will we see a full sweep? Lealow's minions going to need to see a real strategy change after being dominated by TOS in the midfield. The speed at which DCs and Xenon are now putting together is pretty impressive. And also keep in mind the last time that we saw TOS on stream, we had Smarties playing instead of Xenon. Has that made a significant difference? I don't know, chat. You tell me. Lealow's minions at serious risk of being full swept if TOS is able to continue the pace of play. And already off the kickoff, DCs, my goodness, there is no stopping this man as he finds himself the first. With a few minutes on the clock here for Lealow's minions, they can't afford to make the same mistakes they've made in games 1 and 2. To lose now would be devastating, knowing that TOS has all the momentum, and to find themselves at match point, I don't know if Lealow's minions will be able to recover, but I think we're all a little bit surprised here to see Lealow's minions in this spot. Lealow's minions came in as the strong upper hand, dropping barely any games throughout the tournament. Entry in particular, the reigning champion for AltRLE, is a name that we've all been looking towards as the unprecedented, well, not unprecedented I want to say, but easily by and far the best player in this lobby. TOS, on the other hand, with 3 very strong players to their own name, are looking to make a case for themselves. It's Oki, sits right downfield, oh my goodness, it's just off the crossbar and then some. That is so unfortunate for TOS. It was such a great play by Oki. After slamming it downfield, DCS as well commits deep looking for the goal, and it's gone off the crossbar in such a manner that it's an easy counterattack for Lealow's minions. They find the equalizer. A minute and a half into game number 2. Chops over to Entry. Entry back over to Lealow. All 3 players for Lealow's minions getting involved in some way, shape, or form, looking to try to advance the play as much as possible. Entry over to Chops. That's a shot on target, easily denied by DCs. And now it's DCs. He's up the wall. He's got full boost ceiling pinch. Doesn't quite work out in his favor as he can't find the contact on the ceiling he was looking for. But you can see the aerial prowess from TOS. All these 3 players, especially Okeanu's, who is not exactly the highest rated player in this lobby, but still putting up an impressive showing of aerial based mechanics. There's definitely been a force for Lealow's minion to contend against. Now it's Chops over to Entry. Entry sees the left side of the net, shoots, but to no avail. This is going to be a strong 50-50 for TOS, but luckily Entry is there first to cover the marks. We're getting closer and closer to seeing Lealow's minions being dethroned, seeing the King Entry being dethroned from his reign in AltRLE. Will TOS be the first team to do it? They need 1 goal to show the crowd that they can. DCs, it's on target, it's just in the back of the net. TOS, baby, there is no stopping them, but my goodness, what a setup from Oki as he's able to force Entry out of the backboard. TOS, a second and a desperately needed 1 goal lead. They're going to be holding on to it for dear life. But Lealow's got them on the strings as he looks for a shot on target. Entry as well, looking for the sidewall. Xenon, happy to collect, looking for full control, but Lealow's minions so fast around the pitch, able to disrupt any possession when it comes their way. Lealow can't do too much with this ball, has to pass it back over to Chops. Entry once again looking to poke a hole into that backboard. No double tap this time around, but he doesn't need it as TOS floundering a little bit on the goal line. What's gone wrong here? Xenon may have been called off from this ball, and unfortunately it's no cigar for TOS as a wayward touch on the backboard doesn't do them too many favors. A second for Lealow's minions and a desperately needed equalizer. Demolitions all around the pitch. We're watching effectively a 2v2 here for a couple moments, but those couple moments are exactly what TOS needs to capitalize on after having taken Entry out of the play. Those are your moments to really shine. Now TOS, it's DC is a big clear downfield. Xenon there to collect. A little bit of a kerfuffle in the midfield as Chops and Entry decide who decides or who should take this play. DCs. He's got Oki in the midfield as well to work with if he chooses to take that path, but somehow he's managed to force his ball. Oh my goodness, it's off the crossbar, not one, not two, three times in quick succession. TOS can't find the mark they're looking for, and now they have to deal with Entry, who is coming down from the ceiling with a flip. Luckily, TOS able to keep it out of their goal line, but just barely. The crossbar has definitely been paid off by either team here. A little $20 slip underneath the table, I dare say. Entry. Gonna buy himself a little bit of space to work with, but easily cleared downfield by Xenon. Could be saying an overtime here for game number 2. Sorry, game number 3. And overtime we go. TOS, a big statement to be made here. Can they walk out with 3 goals? I am not entirely sure. Sorry, not 3 goals. I meant to say 3 games, and it looks like the answer is a resounding yes. TOS. Are they finding the sweep? This is unprecedented. Alright, chat. I have to rush to answer my door quickly. So give me a second. I hope you guys enjoyed the shenanigans in the chat while I've gone. Now that I'm back, I've definitely come back to a good source of entertainment. What on earth is this? Alrighty. We're going back here in what might just be the very last game for AltRLE 2v2. Does TOS have what it takes to lock it out in this long series? We thought this one was going to go the distance, but TOS are showing us otherwise. And this is a very strong statement for TOS after having come with 3 unanswered games. Is Lealow's minions feeling the pressure after having dominated the bracket through every possible angle, coming in as the undefeated team into the upper bracket at a game advantage, and still they cannot find the mark that they were looking for? Is Entry about to be dethroned as the king of AltRLE? Xenon with a resounding yes to that statement as he slams in the first off of the goal line. Chops doing his best to keep the crisis averted, but at the end of the day, it is all TOS. It always has been. Why should we have ever doubted them, chat? And also, I just want to quickly say that we will be instantly joining the voice chat of whichever team wins to capture their reactions in the moment. So feel free to stick around after. I'll try to hammer a few questions as well, but I'm not, quite frankly, the best interviewer. We'll see what I can come up with, nevertheless. TOS. Xenon's going to be firing in a second from well past the half field line. It's all been Xenon here throughout the better part of game number 3. Game number 4. He is quite hungry, and you can tell as well. I won't particularly comment on the chat, but I think everyone is well aware of what's happening on the top left of your screen. There's definitely some discourse happening, and Xenon seems to be the main perpetrator. DC's backboard to his name, and Oki third. What is this, TOS? This is absolutely night and day. From the beginning of this bracket, I did not think that TOS would ever be capable of pulling off such a magnificent performance. They're about to pull off the full sweep versus Lealow's minions. This is an absolute disaster for Lealow's minions after having worked so hard to come this close to the prize pool. And to not walk away with a single game would be devastating, but TOS are looking to do exactly that. Playing flawlessly here in game number 4, nothing Lealow's minions seemed to stick. Entry, looking for a last-ditch possession with a lot of time on the clock. He is taking his time to find a little bit of space, find the slow possessions, and it seems to have worked out. Speeds up the play from the corner, finding a lot of space in the midfield, and that bump by Chops as well, doing him a lot of favors. DC's is MIA though. At the tail end of that replay, you could catch DC's stagnant in the corner, but he seems to be back and alive now, with still a 2-goal, very healthy lead for TOS. Lealow's minions, another opportunity to find a comeback of some sort, but DC's has flipped reset it around all the opposition. A phenomenal play by DC's. Oh my goodness. From the midfield, he absolutely dominates Lealow's minions. That net is wide open and no one from Lealow's minions home when DC's comes a knocking. And all said and done, we might be heading towards a rather uneventful game number 4, which is a bit surprising. Never thought we'd find ourselves in this situation, chat. For sure thought this one was going to go the distance. Entry is still hoping that it just might, as he's able to find the rebound off of the post. And a second isn't enough though. Those minions gonna have to put in a goal per minute. And a goal per minute is, if that's what it'll take, then Lealow's minions more than happy to hold up to the task. DC's once again showing off some aerial mechanics. Xenon happy to deny that dribble off the hood of Entry. DC's corner read, can't find it this time around. With what little boost he had, would have been quite a stretch to go for anyways. It's a 1v1 opportunity if DC's can find the angle though. He's looking for it, but Chops quick to deny when the opportunity presents itself. And we're getting into desperate times here for Lealow's minions. Only a minute and change for them to make any sort of impact here on this game. They've been at a loss for words. TOS have found the kryptonite of Lealow's minions, and oddly enough, it's not through demolitions. Felt like the one solution that any team could have taken against Lealow's minions is to try to delete Entry off the pitch as much as possible, but even TOS have not really had to do what? Thank goodness that is a goal. I won't lie, I stuttered quite a bit on this goal line, as all 3 players from TOS come up empty, and then so does one from Lealow's minions. Thankfully Lealow's there to slam that in for a third. So far Lealow's minions holding out to that 1 goal per minute task. Can they force the overtime? But even if they do so, those last few overtimes have not gone into the favor of Lealow's minions. Lealow's minions so close yet so far from success. A lot of weight on these 3 players' shoulders, as once again TOS just beginning to bear down Ed's Entry. Got Chops as well in the midfield to work with. Lealow taking his time, he's got some space, a little bit of boost as well. Opts for the instant shot on target. DC's in position to deny. Wait a second, this could be a counter as Entry luckily able to keep it out of his box for just a second longer, but no, Entry, he's not back. This ball is so dangerous in front of the goal line. TOS not able to capitalize this time around, but neither is Lealow's minions. It's a battle of counterattacks here on the pitch. It's a frenzied last few seconds, 15 seconds on the clock. Can TOS hold on? Entry Dire Straits, looking for a shot whenever possible. They have to keep this ball alive. They must keep the empty shot on target. No, TC's TOS. Can they shut it down while they still can? It's going to be a yes. TOS. They're going to be your champions. For joining their voice chat, by the way. Yo, what's up? I joined your voice chat expecting like you guys to be happy or some shit.
Yeah, we already were. We fucking we shit talked.
I joined too late. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Wait, see who's tournament MVP? Do you think?
Who's the MVP? I don't know. I think if I were to vote, like my personal vote is going to Oki. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
Rob, no. This is worse than Champions League 2008. That's what This is worse than Champions League.
Disgrace.
No.
Bro, but our fucking comments in the last game, bro. If you listen to that, bro.
Alrighty, I do have a couple of questions for you guys if you guys are okay with it.
Yes.
Okay, so I think my very first question to you guys was, now you had gone against Lealow's minions back in that semifinals match, and at that time you got smacked. I mean, you got bodied. And how was the steps in order to make sure you guys got the comeback, not just the win, but you guys managed the full sweep? How on earth are you pulling that off?
I'll give you a full explanation. Basically,
okay, let's hear
there
it.
was some slight communication issues with the Smarties. I'm trying to help him improve. Tell him, oh yeah, if someone's rotating, go for the ball. Doesn't fucking listen. So fuck that kid. So we basically forced him to leave the team because we don't want him. We get Xenon. We win him Chem. We win the series. It's just what I do really. I don't lose to Nietzsche really. Like he's a bit free. Let's be real.
Oh my goodness.
Washed main a pro. Can I just say that?
That's awesome. I love this Mac.
All me, bro. All me.
Xenon.
Me, you bro sweep.
Yeah, that's true.
We sweep, bro.
Xenon came in clutch. That's true.
There's a difference.
Alright, Xenon, my next question was going to be for you. I mean, you came in as a substitution coming in for Smarties, and then you had to come off of playing with versus Virgins. How was the playstyle swap when you came into working with this new team, and how has it worked out for you?
First thing, it was big shoes to fill. Smarty is a big player, a very good player. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wanted to fucking die. I hate this game. I didn't want to play this game. He fucking.
Can I cut in with a short ad break with something to say?
Go on.
Nietzsche's left the AltRLE esports group chat.
Oh no.
Yeah, our team is dead, I guess. Unlucky.
It's a 1500.
I mean, playing with like then it's like easy, you know. I know what he's gonna do, so yeah, it's
one of the best, most underrated player in the game.
Yeah, like
Real.
Cam, you know, it's not easy to like, and like Okinawa is like a good player, you know, as well.
He's a solid player. He's Diamond 2 and 3s right now with 106 games played. I was quite surprised. I'm not calling him out or anything, but I mean,
yeah, he's a good player. So it was very easy to like fill in.
All right, Okianos.
Yeah,
I'm going to interrupt you. My very last question is for you. I think I've got you on my docket as the MVP. What is your case for defending this MVP, Oki?
I feel like, I don't know. I was able to, when my teammates, you know, I got Dan here. He's just doing everything around the ball, and I'm just able to put it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the MVP? The assist player or the goal scorer? You know what I'm saying?
It's the goal scorer. I vote Oki.
Yeah.
My heart says Oki. My mind says DC's. I wonder who will come out on top. Great plays by you all. Congratulations on taking down the king of AltRLE. You guys have earned your spot as the new champions. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For sure.
Good stream as well, by the way. That was actually a good stream.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. GG's, thank you guys. Have a good night. I'll talk to you all soon.
You too.
You too, man.
Great tourney.
Alrighty, chat. It has been a rather eventful day, but here we are at a close at long last. I hope you guys enjoyed just as much as I did before you, and I want to give a quick shout out to all of our tournament organizers. Thank you, Sanju. Thank you, Heisen, for all the work you guys have been putting in. You guys are phenomenal, especially for dealing with all the madness that is this tournament. You guys are on another level. I respect you guys so much, so thank you. Once again, and also for giving me the opportunity to put this amazing tournament on my channel. Speaking of which, if you guys enjoyed some of my casting, you can check out my Twitter. It's right there. It's a little bit small, but you can follow me. In esports, you literally can't get anything going without a Twitter following, so I beg you, if you liked my casting, please follow my Twitter. It makes me so happy. Thank you guys all so much for joining into the stream, and I hope I'm around for the next one. Have a good night, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.